Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
In this week's episode of the Kindness Project, we talk about haircuts, moons, and we have part one of our interview with Harpal Dhatt from the Kindness Chef podcast.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of the Kindness Project. I was gonna say I'm joined, but then it turned into more I'm joined. So that's apparently my name now.
I'm joined.
I'm joined.
I'm joined.
I'm joined by one man who says he hasn't got the energy, but has seemed to pile onto a very loose threads very quickly.
All right, I'm done.
And one man who's been busy working.
Yeah, look, we need to work on these intros. Really, they've gone downhill.
After how many episodes?
I know that, but
We used to pre-plan them. Remember when we pre-planned them? And then I used
remember when we pre-planned the entire podcast? What has happened? Now we delegate it to us.
Sorry, I still pre-plan the entire podcast. You two just don't follow the plan.
Sorry, I'm a rebel. I like to rebel against any plan.
You're a rebel without a cause or with a cause?
I'm a rebel without a clue.
And I like to have fun.
I like to improvise. That's what I like to do. I like to keep it fresh.
Maybe that's what you should pick up as a lobby, mate. Sorry.
So wait. This is the thing.
Sorry.
If you're going to insult me, don't use the word mate.
I was going to say dad, and then mate slipped out, and I was like, oh no.
Well, I mean, at least, I think every child in their life, and I think I might have did this more than once, has called their teacher mum. I've done that. Have you done that, Russ?
I knew you was going to ask me.
Have you ever called your teacher mum?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
I remember.
Yeah, I'm the same as Russ. Not that I remember, but I remember like being in the flow and then realizing, oh, the next word isn't the correct one.
I remember being close to some of my teachers, though.
How close?
Not that close.
Did you phone anybody?
There's a time limit on these things, unfortunately. You can cut that out. I'm so sorry.
Oh God, this is a podcast about kindness.
I'm tired. There's no filter. I'm sorry.
Do not. If you've got something to say, Rose, make sure it's within the time limit. Yeah. You got 21 seconds to go.
Oh dear.
Right. Can we just?
They actually each sing for 21 seconds in that song. That's very good.
As we're talking about that, can we just share a little game we had on Sunday?
No. We don't have that game again on Sunday.
Well, you will be getting that game again on Sunday. It's called, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, the WhatsApp singing game. What you loved it? You were singing back.
That can
here's how you play the WhatsApp singing game. You have a little WhatsApp group, and I use the Kindness Project WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
So that's basically me, Russ, and Charlotte. And then I do the start of a little song, and then the first one to respond with the next line via voice note, clearly, wins a point.
And who won?
Now, I've got some amazing audio from that little game. Would you like to hear some?
Don't you bloody dare.
Would you like to hear some on the podcast? There's some of them.
Russ.
So
I know it might be a bit more work for you, but would you mind editing this?
No, none of this is leaving. Right, you ready? You ready?
I've learned to breathe underwater. You start with yourself.
No, Charlotte's so quiet.
My shyness is
let's just take a Russ one.
I ain't gonna be made to look a fool no more. You done it once too often. What do you take me for?
That's nothing like me.
I don't know that one either. Oh, no, you didn't know that one. Let's have a look. The one Russ did know. Hold on.
I came here tonight to hear the crowd go.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
Boom, shake, the boom. Boom, shake, the boom.
Right.
Tick, 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 boom.
Right, but what I realised is the actual genius, ladies and gents, is when you start playing it at 2x speed. You ready for this?
Oh no.
I've never heard Russell funny. I mean, Russell is a funny guy. Are we ready?
Tonight's hit the go. Boom, shake, the boom. Boom, shake, the boom. Boom.
Tick, boom. Tick, boom. That's your new nickname, Russell. Tick, boom, Dames.
No, if we say that nickname, people are going to get wrong assumptions.
Sorry, you started this meeting
Right.
with, I'm really tired.
I've got low energy today. This is me on low energy. Tick, boom.
Unbelievable.
What's the matter, Russ?
Well, you tell me you're busy. You've clearly got time to double the speed on my singing.
I did it while I was on the car coming back. I did it playing through the stereo 2 times. Everybody in the car was listening to you go, boom. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a live game right now. I'll think of a song, and the first one to sing that answer will...
Definitely means I had to Google last time we played this, and I still didn't win.
Will win a prize. So let me find a song you're both gonna know.
Maybe I've done something interesting this week, Ross, that we could talk about instead.
You promised me a prize last time and I never got anything.
You did. You got the congratulations from everybody.
I got you opening your 2 heads on Monday morning saying you're getting nothing.
Right, go on. Tell what do you want to talk about while I Google while I think of a song, Charlotte?
We were talking about. I had a lecture on cross-dressing today.
You had a lecture on cross-dressing.
I went to a lecture.
How'd you do cross-dressing well?
It wasn't actually doing cross-dressing. It was about cross-dressing in Shakespeare and stuff like, and how it affects plot and stuff.
The interesting bit about cross-dressing.
Oh.
Surely a man can cross-dress and wear a dress, etc. But how does a woman cross-dress?
Puts a pair of strides on and walks around like a geezer.
Well, Charlotte must have been cross-dressing for a while because she's always rubbing off.
Oh, we bloody lie.
Charlotte
I refuse to wear a skirt these days. I do.
Charlotte is she likes a pair of strides. She loves a manly t-shirt. She's never without that hat.
I'm booking myself an haircut for next week. I gotta.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right, actually, Russ. Charlotte
What have you done to it?
Buzzed.
Oh, you're gonna
Not
go
the full thing, just the sides again, around the back.
Oh,
yeah, that's good.
I might do it one day, but I was thinking about growing it out, but I'm really uncomfortable with it, so I'm just not gonna do it.
Right, are we ready for the song game?
No.
Nursery Rhymes edition.
Right, remember what you play on your computer, we can't hear.
No, that's why I'm going to sing it. The wheels on the bus.
Go round and round, round and round.
The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long.
Oh. Now, do we get the point for the first person to answer, or do we get the point for the first person to say the entire thing?
I would let Charlotte have that point.
Thank you, Russ. Don't know if I deserve it, but I appreciate it.
If you're happy and you know it,
clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
This is, I love this. I'm just getting my 19-year-old daughter and the 42-year-old brother to sing nursery rhymes. Incy Wincy Spider.
Incy Wincy, you got the lyrics wrong.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Is Itsy Bitsy? Itsy Bitsy Spider ran up the water spout.
Incy Wincy?
No. Down came the rain and washed the spider out.
Yeah.
Out came the sunshine and dried
right, hold on. Let's go back to
spider went up the spout again.
Incy Bitsy or Incy Wincy?
Itsy Bitsy.
No, I thought it was Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini.
It is, but it's also Itsy Bitsy.
No, it's in. Russ, what do you think?
It's a a song or itsy witsy bitsy weeny.
Right, Incy Wincy Spider.
No, it's not. It can't be.
Itsy Bitsy, what's that?
It's Itsy Bitsy Spider.
No, it's not. It's Incy Wincy.
I've never been told into Incy.
This is an absolute scandal.
Take out with the people that lie to you, mate.
Right, I'm going for Incy Wincy. Podcast listeners, we need your help.
Daddy, take it out with him.
We need your help. Is it? This is what happens when you watch too much YouTube when you were a kid, right? I think it's Incy Wincy. Charlotte thinks it's, what is it?
Itsy Bitsy.
Tinky Winky. Russ thinks it's
Lala and Pug.
Itsy Bitsy Spider.
It is Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Itsy Bitsy.
Right. I've got it. Right. Okay. So the British Council, not YouTube, not any of that business. British Council learn English kids. Incy Wincy.
I was never taught that, but okay.
Okay, fair enough. Russ.
That's your failing as a parent, then, isn't it, mate? Because she's been told different what you know it as.
Sorry, I can't be responsible for teaching a child every nursery rhyme.
Unfortunately, we're not willing to accept that apology.
Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Why are you doing the hands? The hands change the lyrics.
She's even been told sign language with it.
I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what we used to do.
Sign language.
Up the water spout. Whatever.
Where did you learn it, Charlotte?
I don't remember. It's just like a...
So this is a problem. Because on Wikipedia... Oh, no. Here we go. Itsy Bitsy Spider, known as Incy Wincy Spider, in Australia, Great Britain, New Zealand, and most other English-speaking countries, is a popular nursery rhyme and finger play that describes the adventures of a spider.
Itsy Bitsy
So
Spider.
you live in, even though you're in Scotland now, you are in the Great British area.
No, it's
And in the Great British area, it is Incy Wincy Spider.
As a classic folktale, yeah, as a classic folktale myth and fairy tale enjoyer, I'm gonna stick with Itsy Bitsy. I'm sorry.
I've failed as a parent, Russ.
Okay, that's fine.
I've failed
Why you guns?
But sorry, it's turned into this agent provocateur where every time me and you fall out, he sort of sticks up for you now, doesn't he?
That's because us minions have to stick together.
Who's the one with the one eye? Bob. Who's Bob?
I've got enough eyesight for one eye.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe not. I don't think I've got that much eyesight.
Right, and in other news, I'd like to talk about the subject of moons. Because moons are the subject of CharlotteDavis.com this week. Tell us about that.
Yes. So I was looking at... So I mentioned I'm writing a werewolf story. And I mentioned last episode that I was like, I'm going to do moons next week. So I was looking at moons. And they all have different names. And the next one's the pink moon, which is early April. I think it's the 6th or the 7th.
So the names, could you mention the hunting moon and what are the other names of the moons?
So there's 13 different moons, such as the wolf moon, the cold moon, the pink moon, the beaver moon, the harvest moon, the hunter moon. There's a bunch of others I'm forgetting. I think there's a sturgeon moon as well, like the fish.
When's the cheese moon happening?
There isn't one. Not that I know about. I know there's an egg moon, but that's not the main name for it. I think that's the pink moon.
Okay.
But it's called the pink moon because of a specific type of flower that blooms in North America.
Oh.
And the moon was named by the Native Americans who used to live there. So it's called the pink moon because of the pink flowers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Stuff going on.
I think they called it Pink Moon because they see it driving by on the motorway. You remember them day trips we used to go out on, and they always used to moon out the side of the bus?
No.
Oh, well.
You know what? You know
I
what?
won't name no names, but it usually happened by the same people as well.
Usually it was you, Russ. You know what? You know what mooning is in the context that Russ was talking about, Charlotte.
Yes, I've seen. What's the musical that's got the song about mooning? Grease? No.
Grease.
Grease.
Is it Russell Dames Moons Out the Window?
There's a
The musical.
Complexion on Grease.
there's a musical that's got a song about mooning, and
Is it called Russell Dames?
It's
Do
not.
you like a moon, Russ?
Do I like the moon?
No, just generally, do you like a moon?
No.
You sure?
That's about the only thing I haven't done in a meeting. Moon on the
That's one of the only things you haven't done out a window. In other news, let's talk about kindness news. Do you want to do the jingle?
Kindness news.
And for some reason, we have got Russell is digging deep with the publications this week, because we have got kindness news from Construction Management Magazine. Where's that come from, Russ?
It's come from Google.
Right, do you want to go back and get one from Bagels Monthly or Professional Painters and Decorators?
It doesn't matter about the profession. If somebody's kind, they're kind.
That is true, and certainly we can share.
And as you know, some of them professional publications do good stuff, like Construction Weekly.
Are you a fan? Are you a regular fan?
Are you a regular reader of Construction Weekly?
How often do you read Construction Weekly?
This is my first experience.
You know what I like to read? Nursery Rhymes Monthly. And I know.
Well,
every time the spider-related nursery rhyme comes up, it's always Incy Wincy. And
that's Nursery
Rhymes Monthly, Charlotte.
Well, I had a little wincy when she said you was itsy bitsy.
You had a wincy when she said itsy bitsy?
Wincy, yeah.
Itsy Wincy
I had a wincy when Kelly told me you had a tinky winky.
Take that out, Russ. You've got to take that one out.
Keep it in, Russ. Keep it in. That is genius. I just come up with that, Russ.
Sorry.
I'm absolutely shattered.
No, it's a tinky winky. It's more like a Frankfurter.
We need to get on with the news. We need to get on with the news.
I'm done. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Charlotte, what is going on? Charlotte, help me. Help me. Okay. Construction Management Magazine.
I didn't need to know.
Construction Management Magazine, brought to you by the CIOB. Construction's rule of I can't do it. Frankfurt. Right, stop. Oh, God. Oh, this is a shambles.
Okay.
This is an absolute shambles. Right. Okay. Construction's wall of kindness help those in need. A wall of kindness has been installed at a construction site in Swansea where people could donate clothes for those in need. The initiative was spearheaded by Mark Crouch, a building services manager at Boyge's UK. I've never seen this done at a site I've worked on before, said Crouch. I put the idea forward to our social value team, and together we came up with a very successful wall. As soon as we placed coats on the wall, they were taken by those in need. It really has been a success. It has been great to see how welcomed it has been by everyone in the city centre. The wall invites passers-by to hang coats on the pegs attached so others can take them. Walls of, I like walls. I was about to have a go at the fact that you got this story from Construction Management Magazine. I'm liking it, Russ.
Right.
I'm liking the concept behind Walls of Kindness. As soon as Walls of Kindness is an initiative that emerged in Iran during the winter of 2015 to help homeless people keep warm in the freezing temperatures. Since then, such walls have been replicated around the world, including by construction firms installing them outside building sites. Basically, a wall of kindness is where people can put coats that they don't use anymore,
Yeah.
and homeless people use those coats. It's an amazing idea. I like this. Last December, Irish building contractor Wallace installed a wall of kindness in Dublin city centre with a note that read, "Leave what you don't need, take what you do." Donations from staff were hung on the wall to be picked up for those who needed them. In Belfast, Mascot Construction established a kindness wall in 2021 as part of its Christmas charitable events. That is amazing. And it's happening all over the world. I will never, ever, ever go at Construction News again. Actually, Russ, if you could give me another article about kindness from Construction News for next week, I'd love that.
I'm not sure about that, but
Okay.
probably never do a construction with you ever again now.
Now we're going to move on to the Wirral Globe. Ellesmere Port Asda employees show random acts of kindness. An Ellesmere Port Asda employee made a young boy's day with a random act of kindness. Maureen Burns started working as a checkout colleague at the Asda in Ellesmere Port in September 2022. Earlier in the week, 15-year-old Jacob was at the Grange Road store and was struggling to pay for some Mother's Day flowers on his phone's banking app because it wasn't working. Maureen decided to step in and pay for the flowers herself. I love that. Adele, the store's community champion, said, having seen someone going through the checkouts with her flowers, it broke Maureen's heart to see this poor little lad looked so disappointed at the prospect of not being able to buy them. But she jumped in and paid for them herself. Jacob's mum, Kerry Oakes, later posted on the community Facebook group thanking Maureen. He is so grateful, as am I. I wasn't expecting it at all. My son shall pay the kindness forward. Thank you so much. Maureen's manager, Caroline Harvey, said she's an amazing colleague and we are all very proud of her. Love that. Two seemingly simple but perfect acts of kindness. Really, really appreciate that. We're going to move on to the interview. This week, we've got the amazing Harpal Dhatt from the Kindness Chef. Enjoy the interview and we'll see you on the other side. Harpal, how are you? Are you doing well?
I'm good. I'm great, Chris. Waking up talking about kindness.
Well, it's always a fun subject to do. I seem to spend a lot, I mean, particularly with the book out at the minute, I'm spending a lot of time talking about kindness. I've got a radio interview on Wednesday, and I keep on bumping into people who've read my book. So it's a topic that keeps on coming up time and time again. So it's an interesting one. Now, before we start with the interview, you gave me a real insight into your personality. About are you more of an evening person than a morning person?
I am a morning person. It just takes me time to wake up. You know, I like to wake up early and get a lot done, but it doesn't really happen.
Okay, fair enough. How long does it take in the morning for you to get to a point where you go, right, I'm cooking on gas now, I'm ready to go?
Probably 3 hours.
3 hours. It's a good run up to the day. I'm toying with the idea of I was talking about it last night with a friend, funny enough. Have you heard of like that cold shower thing to get the endorphins going?
Yeah.
I just can't get to it. And I can't like sort of get to the point where I'm happy to do it. But apparently he said it's amazing. So I might try that. I'm not into New Year's resolutions, but I might try that in 2023. But we are here to talk about kindness. So tell us a little bit about you.
So my name is Harpal Dhatt. I'm a chartered business psychologist. I spend some of my time as a visiting lecturer teaching positive psychology and professional and personal skills development. I'm also the world's first kindness chef, where I'm serving nutritious and nourishing well-being in a unique way to clients across the world. And I also have a podcast called the Kindness Chef Podcast, so I'm a host of that.
Fab. Talk to me a bit about your journey to finding positive psychology and help me understand how that became part of your life.
That's a big, deep question, Chris. Well, I've always been interested and curious about myself, wanting to find out more, and this idea of development and personal development. I was interested a long time ago about the things that we can improve on and get better at, which is what positive psychology is about. When I went to university, they weren't really teaching about positive psychology about 20 years. So I have naturally been interested, and I know you like gratitude, and I've listened to one of your episodes of your podcast where a guest also mentioned about gratitude. So I am interested in positive psychology, but also I would say that my journey on kindness started really about 2016. But this is, I don't really know, it's such a deep question. But I think, well, kindness is a part of positive psychology. It's not specifically, they don't spend so much time, I think, talking about kindness.
Yeah.
But from what I've discovered on my journey, I was first really quite interested in empathy and compassion, and then self-compassion, which I was trying to teach to people, but they didn't really get what these concepts were. They're a bit more complicated to talk about.
It's interesting, isn't it? How important do you think it is to, as part of a journey, to be kinder to others? How important do you think it is to be kind to yourself?
It's really, really important. What I've discovered is there are a lot of people doing kindness work in the world, but they don't really take care of themselves.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So well. So I've seen a pattern emerging. And the more I go into this area and the more I work on myself, I have discovered how unkind I am to myself, as well as other people are. 78% of people are kinder to others than themselves, which is research from Kristen Neff, one of the founders of self-compassion. So I would say that, until we really get to know ourselves well, which I don't know if many people will do that, I think we think we're being kind to others, but maybe we're not really, because we don't really know ourselves that well. So we might be doing things where we think, oh, we're helping, we're doing good, but perhaps we're not. So I think that it's not a selfish activity, but it is really to know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and are we being really honest about what we're doing.
Let me ask you what I think is another deep and unanswered
not another
question.
Chris, I wasn't expecting these questions.
I'm feeling quite philosophical today, Harpal. You can probably tell.
You're not. You told me before, but I don't know. Okay, Chris, the philosopher. Okay, carry on. Good question.
So let me ask one addition. I promise we'll get back to the questions that I prepared you for in a minute. But do we ever really know ourselves?
Probably not.
Okay.
But so how self-aware do you think you are, Chris, out of 100%?
Maintenance guys here to fix the door.
I'm in the middle of a podcast interview. Yeah. Raj, edit that out. There's the guy, apparently, or not, Russ, keep it in. It might be a little. Apparently, the guy at my door, my office door's broken, and the guy's here to fix it. So yeah, that's a new one for the podcast, right? Okay. So how well do I know myself?
How self-aware?
How self-aware? 60%.
Okay, that's not a bad answer.
Yeah. Certainly not 100.
Okay.
And certainly more self-aware now in my 40s than I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I'm conscious that I've still got a long way to go.
So most people think that they are around about perhaps 60 to 90%. But what do you think the truth is?
20.
Yeah. So around about actually 15 to 17%, which is some research from Dr. Tasha, who's got a book on insights, where she has done a lot of research on self-awareness. So we probably won't be. But I think the more that people realize they're not the thing that I have discovered is denial. So if you think that you are being kind to yourself and you're not, then this could affect your well-being. So this discovery, so what perhaps is helpful, we're not all going to get to 90, 100% self-awareness. I don't think that's going to happen. But my story is that I thought I was kind to myself. People would come and tell me about 20 years ago how much they hate themselves, don't like themselves. And I thought, oh, I'm okay. You know, poor them, I'm okay. But what I've discovered is that I do have quite a negative self-talk, and I'm not always my own best friend. And so in terms of our mental well-being, this can really affect us.
Yeah.
So this is what I would like to do, is help more people almost like feed their soul with kindness by becoming more aware.
Becoming more aware, being kind to themselves, giving them the tools to do that. Right? Okay, well, talk to me about that. And I know you mentioned earlier about the kind chef. Talk to me about the concept of that.
So the concept of the kindness chef is that I create recipes and menus from a kindness A to Z that I've designed to nourish people's mind, body, and soul. So I don't really like the word random acts of kindness, although they are beneficial. And, you know, okay, gratitude is great, but everyone just talks about the same things about gratitude. So this A to Z, I would say, is a unique concept where people can practice kindness in many ways. So people that want a bit more variety of the ways that they could practice. So they could just take one of the A to Z, and that could really perhaps help them with being kinder to themselves and other people.
So give me an example.
So this is
what would like tea be? What would
oh
tea
my god, are you psychic, Chris? Because tea, are you psychic? Because tea is about tea, TEA. And actually I'm recording my episode about tea later on in an hour's time. So tea is slightly unusual because it's about tea. Whereas, you know, B is boundaries. The rest of them are more things perhaps from psychology that are good for your well-being based on research, but I just love tea. And so I made it.
It's giving you the opportunity to talk about tea. But where's the connection with kindness when it comes to tea?
That's when you have to listen to the episode. But the connection is that actually there are tea ceremonies. There's different types of tea. And when you drink a bowl of tea, it's a way of serving kindness to yourself.
Sure.
If you carry a bowl, like these small little bowls that you can have tea in, you kind of put it close to your heart and then your mouth, and it's a way of connecting with yourself.
It's quite a meditative state, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting.
So it's a mind.
I'm enjoying this. Can I pick another letter?
Pick another. Yes, test me, Chris. You are testing me.
Let's go for Q.
Q. Okay. What do you think Q is about? Let me put it on you first.
Oh, great question. That you can tell you're a coach.
Why?
Well, I'm meant to be interviewing you. Q. What would Q be?
And it links to what we just said about tea just now.
Quiet.
Yes. I might have called it quietness. So this is also going a bit into silence. So I do like a little bit of silence, but I've called it quietness.
So this is interesting, right? One of the things that I and again, I'm conscious that I'm probably not as self-aware as I think I am. So let me
like me, we're the same.
Frame that immediately. However, one thing I know I struggle with as an extrovert and somebody who likes to be around people is that I've got a friend who's really keen on meditation. He talks about meditation all the time, and he's in a position where he says that the mental health benefits he gets from it are huge. I struggle with meditation and in particular silence. So for somebody like me who's more comfortable around people and more comfortable being busy, what's the first step I need to take to step away from that?
Well, do you like drinking tea? What's your drink of choice? Not alcohol now, but like a hot one, let's say.
Coffee. I'm a coffee drinker.
Okay, and when do you drink your coffee? Yeah, a few times in the day, or how many?
Way too much.
Okay, so perhaps
in the
cut
morning.
back on that.
In the morning primarily.
All right, and when are you taking your coffee? Is it a quiet time, or are you like multitasking? What's happening?
I'm eating my breakfast. I've got the TV on.
Oh, great opportunity.
The kids are in the house getting ready for. My daughter's in the house getting ready for school.
Okay, is there a moment in your day? I mean, maybe that's not the moment, but is there a particular, I would cut back on that coffee usage and perhaps only do 3 at the max, maybe 1. But is there a time in the day where, I know you were interrupted earlier, like you're interrupted quite often and perhaps you like that, but maybe is there one time in the day where you could just be by yourself with your coffee without any other distractions?
I'm doing some work at the minute where I'm designing my week around, and it's really interesting. So, when we came out of the pandemic, I was really keen to get everybody back in the office and everybody sort of being together and stuff like that. What I've found now is I can't be in the office full time because there's certain elements that I need to do where I need more focus. So my time to myself is actually during the workday, and it's writing. So my sort of meditative thing and my flow state is best when I'm writing, and that's the thing that I can only do alone. So that to me is where I've got a quiet time. So I'm communicating, but in a way that doesn't involve talk to other people.
And so, everybody is quiet at some point. Yeah. The thing is that we're just afraid. A lot of people are really afraid of, say, sitting in silence for 20 minutes. And you don't really need to do that. But perhaps, maybe when you're drinking your coffee, which is something you do quite often, think about, can there be a moment of quiet while you drink your coffee?
Yeah.
In the day. Like, and so there could be, perhaps you got 5 moments and it's something that you're doing often. So it's not another thing you need to add on to do. So just you can have a little bit of more quiet and coffee and make it a little bit of a quiet space for you to think about yourself. So when you're drinking coffee, think about how are you being kind to yourself. So almost like you're drinking the coffee and some kindness is going inside and nourishing you.
So it's just creating that space for contemplation, isn't it? Making sure you're in a position where you're thinking about not busyness for business sake. I think is where we're going with that. I'm going to pick one more letter before we move on.
Another one, Chris.
Yeah, one more. Let's go for J.
Okay. So J is about joy.
Okay.
And
tell me how that manifests itself in the recipe.
Well, there is one I've created which is called in the book that I'm working on, which hopefully will be out next year. It was a recipe which I called Kefi, Kefi.
Okay.
Kefi is actually, it's a Greek word which is about a moment of joy and happiness. So when we think about joy and happiness or lots of things, we want this to be all the time. But this isn't really how life is. We
No.
need all our feelings and emotions. We need, everything is giving us information, sadness. But when what I think is practical is if you think about, there are so many moments in the day where perhaps there is joy, or we're observing kindness, or things are happening, we're grateful, but our mind doesn't register those moments.
It's really interesting, isn't it? That concept of happiness as a goal is actually something that isn't achievable, is it? Happiness is it's about just improving well-being over the longer term, isn't it? Why do you think we're conditioned to focus on the happiness as over well-being?
Well, I just think of Coca-Cola. Sorry, I don't know if that's the answer to your question, but we're just there's so many distractions, and I think that's perhaps why we don't know ourselves, because we're bombarded with messages about what is happiness. Is it really drinking?
Yeah. I wrote in the book about comparison, and that marketed perception of what we should all aspire to, when in reality, we've all got our own frame of what well-being looks like, don't we? And we need to identify
happiness, which is about I'm gonna answer, what the research shows is about relationships. So you probably know this, and your listeners, maybe they know that as well, but the most important thing is our relationships. So the relationship with ourselves and other people, and we don't spend so much time cultivating this relationship with ourselves, which is linked to the cue about quiet. So how can we be present to other people if we're not really connected to our bodies? Which is, if you're drinking your coffee and you're paying attention to, say, the coffee going down into your body, because we're stuck in our head all the time, thinking about the next thing to do. So you don't necessarily have to sit and meditate on a cushion.
Oh, that's a shame. I was looking forward to doing that.
You don't have to do that.
Now, I know that part of your journey into exploring kindness started in 2016 when you started the kindness cafes. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so I was in Colombia on a bus, and at this time I was quite into self-compassion, but the word kindness appeared to me. And what I love about kindness is that when I'm doing, say, kindness cafes, or there was children present, that 5-year-olds can easily explain what kindness is or draw a picture. And so my way into things like self-compassion, which I think are really well, and the research shows how good that is for our well-being, came through the word kindness. And I had seen that there was a love cafe where they had a menu where they were serving, you could choose from a starter, main and dessert, where I got the idea of starting kindness cafes, where I wanted really to have more than one kindness cafe. That's why I call it cafes across the world. And in 2016, I went to Kathmandu in Nepal to an event called Creativeness Fest, which was for young entrepreneurial people that wanted to improve their personal development. And what I did was I created a space to serve kindness, and had these T-shirts where I think it said kindness inside equals kindness outside. And I was really trying to get people to practice both, being kind to themselves and other people. And I had waiters and waitresses who were serving a menu of kindness, because I didn't want this really to be about me. What I wanted to create was an empowering space.
Yeah.
And they had a badge on and something to show that they're the waiter or waitress. And we had tables set up, and they were taking people to their table and serving them the menu. And what I discovered in this process is it's also learning for the waiters and waitresses, because they're like being quite self-critical. They don't know what to do. I said, don't worry, this has never been done before.
Yeah.
So it's an
So
opportunity
you're
for
learning on the
them.
job, sort of thing,
Yeah.
aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an idea which was different to perhaps, PowerPoint slides and a workshop style.
Yeah, well, it's more practical, isn't it? By
Yes, yeah, practical and fun. So they were
Yeah.
drawing, what does kindness look like? And what happened was connection
Yeah,
between everybody. And so
Yeah.
that's the power.
yeah, it's really interesting. So that was the interview. We've got part 2 coming up next week, I'd imagine, Russ.
Part two.
Part 2 coming up next week.
Yeah, so we've changed our layout for interviews, so we're going 2 parts now, not 3 parts.
Well, I mean, the reason being is probably worth highlighting because we're getting so much demand from people wanting to come on the podcast at the minute.
We are.
Yeah. It is the end, but the end's never really the end. The end is just the beginning of this week's awful joke of the week.
Oh yeah.
Can you make it Teletubby related?
Well, okay.
No, go on, make it whatever you want.
If you're gonna ask for a question, you gotta ask at the top of the show.
Can I have a Teletubby joke next week?
You can have a Teletubby joke next week.
This week, what you going for?
This week. Why did the tomato turn red?
Because he saw Rasmus Tinky Winky?
No, but he did see the salad dressing. Oh,
I thought my punchline was better.
Okay.
Ras, what did you
A little chuckle. A little one.
I did do a little chuckle. On that note, my friends, I'm going for a power nap. I will see you on Tuesday. Today is Friday as we do this. Have a lovely time in your life until next week's episode, and I'll see you on the Kindness Project soon.
Bye.